So we're being given a short period of time with which to prepare for the next round before we're in a short break, basically. There's only going to be a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
The other two teams are taking potions and tending to their injuries to get themselves all healed up for the next round. The clerics are off to the side, not assisting at this point because clearly it is outside their job jurisdiction at the moment. All right, so what are we going to do? Because we took no damage.
Nothing to do, really.
Hmm.
I am kind of curious if the odds for betting have changed. But
probably more in our favor now, you would think.
yeah, so it wouldn't be making 1,000 on 200 anymore for sure.
No.
Probably not.
Well, that's fine.
It's okay. I'm very happy with that arrangement.
All right, so we're just waiting for the next round to start.
Nothing else to do.
Okay. All right, so a few minutes goes by as we wait for that. All right, we also do here realize that there seems to be something else going on in the arena. Presumably, they're clearing away the bodies from the first round.
It's a halftime show, but
yeah,
there's not halftime yet.
However, there's also something else that we hear the sound of stone moving. You can take a look if you want, if you're curious.
Yeah, so they're changing the arena shape.
Yep. So you can move ahead to the next image if you want.
Not much of a change, but a little bit.
There is a bit more to change. This can't. I wasn't able to articulate this very well, but it isn't just the fact that now the little fort in the center is square. The walls are closer together and they're taller now. The last round, the stone walls came up to about 5 feet tall. Now they're at least 10 feet tall and they're closer together, creating a small square fort around the crest in the center.
Well, it is walking among titans.
Yeah. So, in the last round, the walls were about 20 feet apart. Now they're about 10 feet apart. So they're much closer.
All right.
Much smaller gaps. There's also much more room outside now for.
Well, unlikely that we're going to be outside, at least initially, anyway.
Yep. All right, and the MC stands up and says, very well. And says, I hope you all were able to enjoy our short break in between bouts. Now, we will move on to round 2, walking among the titans. Since ancient times, people have looked up to see great and giant creatures in the world, far greater and more powerful than they are, and have had to look at them with fear. It says, can our loyal defenders protect us from these titans? It says, let us see if they can. Right, and I'll be seeing who's going first this round.
Yep.
Well,
not us.
The dice really seem to hate the headhunters because they're up first again. The headhunters are called back to the stage to see if they can redeem themselves after a brutal first round.
Good luck, guys.
3 out. There's a bit of a groan from the warlock. He's like, I was probably hoping for a bit more time.
Yeah.
You see, as she leaves, she cast a healing spell before in the first round, and you see her take out a small pearl and hold it to her, and it glows brightly. You can roll on her contract if you want.
I think I know what it is. Wait. Pearl of Power?
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. It's a fairly easy check. You know that warlocks tend to be somewhat hampered when it comes to spell slots compared to other magic users, so it makes sense. So it makes sense that she would have some way of restoring those.
Yeah.
And she returns it to her satchel as they head out. And they take the center of the crest again. They seem to be conferring on themselves a little bit this time.
Yeah.
All right. As they're conferring among themselves, presumably strategizing about what's going to happen, the eastern gate goes up.
Oh, this one goes up.
Yes.
All right. Have to remember that for ours.
And some heavy tread of footsteps as a very large creature comes running out. It looks like a giant. We've seen a few giants. We've seen the stone giant and his family just outside Lyria, and we previously saw a hill giant on our way to Vern's Run. So we've encountered a few giant kin in our time. This one, however, has the distinction of having two heads.
Oh, it's S.A.N.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
And they are roaring and running towards it, and in each hand it has a massive weapon. In one hand it has, basically for all intents and purposes, a club, but a club that is massive for this creature. It's close to 6 feet in length.
Yep.
And in the other, it has some sort of misshapen metal object that some way resembles either an edged mace or possibly a great axe. But again, for a creature of this size, and it's holding each hand, and it charges the central fort there. And the headhunters reform their formation, and as they charges in, and they're not clearly, unlike the last round, things are going to be happening a bit more quickly this time.
Yeah.
All right. The S.A.N. Basically gives a running leap and does a bit of a long jump and clears the fort. It lands in its center behind them.
Wow.
For the second match in a row, we see a creature make it into the ranks and bring down its great club on a swing down on the warlock who was trying to reposition as the two frontline fighters went to try and flank the entrance to this little fort here.
Yep. Fortunately,
she's able to just duck out of the way of the second blow of the axe. But it's that took them completely by surprise, I'm afraid, and it seems to be in favor of the S.A.N. at the moment.
Yep.
All right, for the next round. Well, clearly this little fort was meant to provide some degree of cover, but it doesn't do anything when the giant's already inside. As the paladin and the fighter run in to aid their ally, the S.A.N. just takes two more brutal swings down on the warlock, and she is down.
Oh.
The first casualty of the tournament.
Wow.
And the paladin and the fighter go in toe-to-toe and bring their heavy weapons down against the S.A.N., but it's gotten a fair lead. They've had a brutal time so far.
Oh, yeah.
That's car. All right, the paladin goes over to use lay on hands on the warlock, and the S.A.N. isn't having any of it. It seems to. The problem with this creature is it's got two heads, and it seems to be able to keep a close eye on both of them now that it only has two targets, and it swings down, and it just keeps going, and in a few rounds, the headhunters are taken out as the first casualty of the tournament. They put up a fight, but this creature is able to just lay into them. You honestly think between the first round and this one that they've been dealt a raw hand.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's hard to say. We don't know what the other two monsters are going to be.
No, but they've clearly... but luck was not on their side here, and nor were the dice.
No.
So the S.A.N. lets out a victorious cry as it's about to look towards which of them to deal with, and you see it suddenly just freeze in place. Clearly, no one is actually letting any of the combatants actually die. and then it just the crest in the center glows and it vanishes, which it was standing on at the time. The gate in front of us goes up, and the three clerics run out towards into the arena and stabilize and bring to consciousness the three valiant adventurers, none of whom were killed, but all of whom were rendered unconscious, and all of whom have been knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah.
The first to fall. There's a cheer, though it's a bit mournful at this point. They're clearly, and there's a few people who are disappointed because clearly some people were betting on the headhunters to win, and they've just lost.
Yep.
However, despite this, the MC stands up. Yes, says unfortunately our first says our first brave defenders have fallen. Says, let us all give one more cheer to the headhunters who put on a valiant effort. She says, and let them let their injuries be tended to. The clerics and the headhunters come back in. The headhunters are clearly visibly disappointed, but and annoyed, but they seem to be accepting it to a certain point.
Yeah, shake hands with them. Say, yep. You guys got dealt a raw deal, I tell you. Two powerful monsters in a row.
Yes. Well, we wish you the best of luck in your bout.
Could be next.
We could be up next. I'll laugh if this is literally going to be the exact same thing twice in a row.
Nope, doesn't look like it's us.
Yeah. Okay, I promise I'm rolling this. This.
Oh, it is us?
It is us.
Hey!
I don't know what. I don't know how this is possible.
It happens.
But the dice have done that. Okay, so at that point it says, yeah, the MC says, "Is with that, it seems we will be welcome back. Fire and ice. Let us see if they can make such easy work of their next opponent."
Oh, don't jinx us.
So we're led out into the center of the arena again, and we
Yep.
go to stand on the crest in the center there.
And same formation as last time. This time we'll face east.
Okay. All right.
But keeping our eyes open.
Yes. All right.
Hold on a sec.
You want to do anything?
Do you want to cast mirror image? I don't know if I want to. I'm thinking of a different spell.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll go a different route.
All right. What are you going to do?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? All right. What am I going to do?
Hold on a sec. There's no real round. Like, I'm not losing a round or anything between now and, excuse me, when the initiative starts, right? Or am I losing?
Technically, we are basically almost being given a short time to prepare. So we do basically have a preparation round. Yes, you will technically, whatever you're doing, there will be a round going by on it. I've decided to wait and see what happens. So, what about you?
No, I'm going to blow a 4th level spell slot. Actually, no, I'm going to use the ring.
All right. And what are you doing?
I am matching whatever Titan this is with something equally large, hopefully. I am going giant ape.
All right. So you cast your spell from your ring of spell storing.
Yep.
And much to everyone's surprise, there is another giant creature, this time inside the fort, as much to my surprise as well, because you didn't tell me you were doing this beforehand. You polymorph into a giant ape.
And I'm going to give the audience a bit of a show. I'm going to do the typical giant ape thing and pound my chest and roar.
All right. Just bring that stat block here.
Yeah, I got a few more hit points now. Same armor class, though.
Well, technically it's lower because you no longer have your rings.
I thought I had armor class of 14.
Ape. Armor class 12.
Oh, there you go.
All right, and you have 157 hit points.
Yeah.
And you are concentrating.
I am concentrating. This could go bad.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, it could go bad. I'm hoping to roll well for initiative for a change and get some hits in.
All right. So after that is done, you are greeted with quite the cheer because this is a display of magic they were not they were not expecting, and the crowd is very much on your side at the moment. Getting into this.
I hope it works out.
Right. And at that moment, the eastern gate opens.
Yep.
A few moments goes by, and then the gate closes.
Ah, crap. The thing's invisible.
Nothing seems to have come out.
I scan the ground for footprints in the sand.
Make a perception check. Because technically we are not in combat yet.
19. I don't know what the perception of a giant ape is. I'm just going with a raw number.
Your perception. You have +4.
23.
All right. I'm going to also roll here because I'm obviously. My perception is nowhere near as good as yours.
Do I see anything?
You don't see any footprints, but it's almost like something is dragging across the ground a little bit in certain spots. You just see a tiny something there.
I'm going to jump on it and pummel it.
All right. So we're going to roll for initiative.
Yep.
But your attack is going to be what triggers initiative. But let's still roll first.
All right. What's my plus on initiative as an ape?
+2. It's the same.
My initiative this time is a good one. 19.
All right. I have a 7.
And our unknown assailant
Has a 3. So I think you took whatever it is by surprise.
All right.
All right. So one more second here. I'm just going to finish. Yeah. 3.
I know the giant ape has some sort of a giant leap pounce thing. This wants a good one.
All right. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Giant leap.
Thought it did.
I don't see anything about that here.
No, never mind.
It's not important. All right. So, you, using your movement of 40 feet, jump in the air and leap at whatever this disturbance on the ground is that is not footprints. So you're going to be leaping. So that's your movement. You're leaping it through the air and you're attacking. Fortunately, you're starting off the initiative round anyway. So make your attack rolls, but you're making them at a creature you cannot see, so disadvantage.
+7?
+9.
19?
Yeah, that'll hit. What about the second attack? Well, do you want to start with the first one first?
I'll roll both, I guess.
Okay.
11.
Right. So you bring your fist down and you come on top of it and you do a massive blow to this creature and you swing for a second hit, but you miss. So you hit once.
All right.
Roll damage.
What's the damage again? Sorry.
The damage is 3d10 plus 6.
$13. 19 points of damage.
All right. All right. you swing a mighty blow to this creature, and you feel something. You hit something quite heavy when you hit that with heavy musculature, and unfortunately, it remains invisible.
That's fine. So now we start initiative.
So now we are in combat. Yes. So that was technically you initiating combat. So.
$15 hit.
Miss.
Oh. $21 hit.
Hits. So you're basically taking wild swings at a creature you can't see. You just have a vague idea where it is. You're just managing to hit it sometimes.
That would be 18 points of damage.
But you land another solid hit.
Sorry, what did I do the first time? Do you remember?
19.
All right. That's it.
Alright, and... Alright, so it's half of 7 cost. Yeah, and the creature remains invisible again.
All right. I gotta do more damage to it.
Or something.
Oh, well, you're the magic user. I'm just a pummeling agent.
Yeah, at the moment. Alright, so speaking of which, it's my turn now. So, I'm seeing you attack something that's not there. I also clued in that we're probably fighting an invisible creature.
Well, you know roughly where it is.
I know roughly where it is. So guess what spell I didn't think to prepare?
See invisibility?
Yeah. However, I do have Dispel Magic.
True. That will change this fight quite quickly.
Oh, yes. Alright. So, Dispel Magic, just to clarify, does not specify anywhere in the description that I need to see the target, which is good for invisibility.
No, you just have to specify an effect.
Yeah, so I'm going to specify this invisibility effect and hope that it is, and hope that we're dealing with some sort of spell or magical effect, ability that's rendering this creature invisible, and we're just fighting something that's naturally invisible. Yeah, you know it was maintaining. You felt it. You probably very well infer it was maintaining concentration. I was not.
I'm an ape. I have no idea. I'm just beating up something.
So I cast the same sort of blue fluid rippling pattern I use for counterspell, except this time it's against an active spell, and you watch as it disperses the invisibility.
Hey! Ape happy. What am I fighting?
Alright, so you finally can see what you're attacking. So, a creature that is... It is a large creature, which means it is smaller than you are.
Oh.
Because you're huge.
I am huge.
However, it's still 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it is technically almost on eye level with you because this creature is floating in the air.
Oh.
Which is why it wasn't leaving tracks. It is a giant-like creature with blue skin, and it looks ogreish, except it's got horns, and it's got these evil-looking eyes, and these bright tusks. But we've encountered ogres before. This is not an ogre.
Okay.
Because ogres generally cannot fly nor turn invisible. And it's holding a rather familiar-looking glaive.
Oh no, not the glaive! Oh, we just mentioned that stupid thing.
We did. So the bad penny seems to have turned up again. Because, well, this creature has a glaive as its main weapon, so I couldn't not do it.
No.
However, make an intelligence check.
My intelligence is 8.
Yeah, as an ape, unfortunately.
11.
-1? Or is that with the -1?
-1.
Okay, it's not too hard. Just recalling. You remember this weapon quite well because we've encountered it a few times. It looks somewhat different, apart from the fact that it's now basically in the hands of a giant creature.
Yeah.
Which means it's adjusted its size to fit this creature, but previously it was just like a standard metallic sheet, just a standard steel weapon for all intents and purposes. It's darkened in color now, it seems.
Okay.
And it's still got that fan-shaped blade, but the metal is now approaching almost a dark gray tint. And that's all you really notice. We both notice the fact that this weapon now looks different than the last time we saw it.
Right.
Despite the fact it still seems to be following us.
Something for later.
Yeah, well, that was my action to cast Dispel Magic, so we can now see what we're fighting.
Yeah, that gets rid of a whole pile of negatives, I tell you.
Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what this thing is. But that weapon doesn't look good.
Well, I could say Arcana check, but my intelligence will be 8, and I don't have Arcana.
Yeah.
So 8.
I'm just going to move back, which is basically all I can do. So we come to its turn.
Yep.
So you watch as its turn starts, some of its injuries start to mend themselves as the blows you've been doing to it start to heal up a little bit. Some of the bruises vanish.
Yep.
It seems this creature can regenerate.
Joy.
Alright, its turn. What are you going to do? Well, it can see you, and looks just past, and it can see me.
Yep.
And for the second time today, we see a creature begin to cast a spell. And it holds its hand out, and there's this swirling vortex of blue mist that forms in its hand, and that thrusts its hand outwards. And you basically get a point-blank look, because you're right beside this thing, its hand is right in your face, of a type of magic that you've seen me use quite frequently.
Cold?
As a blast of freezing cold magic goes right past you, and goes through the entire fort and catches me in it, as this creature casts Cone of Cold.
Cone of Cold. I'm too close to it?
What?
I'm too close to it for it to hit me in Cone of
No,
Cold?
it hits you. You're in it.
Oh, okay. I thought it went by me.
No, it does go. It goes past you, obviously, because it continues pastwards for 60 feet. But it's both of us, is what I'm trying to say.
Ah, I got you.
You literally have it in point-blank range. The spell is being cast in front of your face.
I got you now.
I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from you.
That will be a 23.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that saves. 1 second.
That better save.
Yeah, Constitution. That's right. 23.
Yeah, I think I have a +4.
Yes, you do. Yeah, that saves. My turn. Just save, and I roll a 3.
Uh-oh.
Plus 5 is 8. That fails.
We're taking damage.
Well, you're taking damage. Yeah.
You know, I'm not taking damage. King Kong is taking damage.
Alright, excuse me while I find a lot of D8s.
Yeah, this is not going to be pleasant.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, as this spell flash freezes both of us and causes 8d8 cold damage. Yeah.
Yep.
The first round was the easy one. That's over. Okay. That's a few 8s.
Okay.
$45 points of cold damage.
Wow.
Right, so you saved.
Yep.
Which means you take half, which halves to 22. And I am cold resistant, thanks to my Boots of the Winterlands.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So I take 22 points as well, even though I fail, which is good. That was a lot of damage, though, and I do need you to make a concentration check for your polymorph, with the DC being set at 11.
Natural 20. I wish I had rolled that for the... That doesn't matter. It's not my hit points anyway.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but you maintain concentration despite the imminent flash freeze, and you now have a feeling, know slightly what it feels like to be on the receiving end of one of my spells, you suspect.
Yep, and I'm gonna take it out on this thing because it's now my turn.
Let's see what else can it do. It's action. Could move in theory, but you'd get an attack of opportunity.
And I'm going to.
Yep.
Go
Well,
ahead.
it cast its spell, so it's going to stay in range. It's not too concerned at the moment. It understands enough about magic to know that you've cast a spell on yourself to assume this form. It knows that if it does enough damage to you, it can break the spell. It also is happy that I took damage, though slightly annoyed that not as much as I thought. So it's your turn now. It's visible now.
Yeah, don't have any negatives anymore.
Yeah.
Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
And what's the other number? 17?
It both hit.
I'm laughing at this thing's face, by the way. Just to annoy it. Oh, that's a good one. 20 points of damage.
Yep.
And 17 points of damage.
All right. When now that's visible in short order, you're having a much easier time of attacking it.
Yeah.
And it's taking a lot of blows. It's still got its wounds still starting to mend even as you inflict damage to it, but you caused a lot in one round.
Yeah.
It's definitely bloodied by this point.
Cool. And I'm staying right there with it, right in its face.
Okay. Yeah. My turn. I say, all right. I say, you're actually hearing my teeth chatter for probably the first time in forever, as far as you can, a long time. As I got the boots. He says, all right. Well, I'd like to say two can play that game, but you're in my way. The unfortunate positioning of you is any area of effect spell I cast at this thing is going to catch you.
If the ape wasn't so effective, I would say go for it.
Yeah, I don't think we want you to lose concentration during my turn before it even gets to do anything.
Yeah, just yet. Yeah.
All right. I say, all right. Then in that case, I'm going to. If we're up against a spellcaster, I need to conserve some spell slots. All right. I'm going to cast Magic Missile at this thing. Otherwise, I would go with. Sorry.
Your third level spell slots.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'm going to cast this at second level.
Saying that, I'll go. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, I already came to that decision myself. But I definitely want to do some damage, so I'm going to cast it a second. Just to fill this a little bit. That's pretty good. Alright, so after you finish pummeling this creature, you see as just whizzing past your head as 4 arcane darts come around and blast into it for 16 points of force damage. It's a pretty good amount. They blast into it, and you see holes are there in its form. It's taking damage, and it doesn't like this. It was really hoping that its spell was going to do more than it did.
Yeah.
Alright, it says, I think you're fine up there for the moment. I think I'm just going to get a bit more distance, and I pull around the wall to get some cover.
This counterspell has a 30.
No, it does have a 60-foot range. I can't really... No, if I want to remain... No, I can't. I have to stay in range if I want to...
Yep, you have to be able to see it.
Yep.
It is a spellcaster.
It is a spellcaster. Alright, we come to its turn. Its wounds seal up still.
Yep.
It's, however... Based on the damage we've done we've done to it over the course of 2 rounds, we're definitely outpacing its regeneration.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Did 90 points of damage in 2 rounds.
Just make an intelligence check, I guess the only way I can say that.
Sure.
I know. There's a little chance it might work.
7.
Yeah, neither of us made that check, unfortunately. So, it's regenerating. We don't know by how much, but we're outpacing it.
Well, if I can hold this form for one more turn, I'm going to get hopefully 2 more big smacks on it.
Alright. Its turn.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, its spell didn't work, so it's going to hear it say, in common, well, let us give this thing a try. It's going to take 2 attacks with the bad penny.
No, great. This is the first time I'm being swung at by this stupid thing.
Yes.
Man, I only have armor class 12.
Yes. Well, a 15 hits.
Oh, yeah.
And a 21 hits.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So, where am I?
Was this thing a D12 last time we ran into it?
We never used it last time, so we don't know. Glaives are not usually D12s now.
Didn't I identify it? Or one of us identified it at one point?
I think so. Alright, so... And... because this thing has gotten a bit of an enhancement to the last bit, that gets that too. You don't know what this means, but I do. I just... Okay. So, you take 12 points of slashing damage and 3 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, it's turning nasty, is it?
Alright.
Yeah.
So it's a total of 15 points of damage to your hit points. Concentration check?
13?
That succeeds, yep.
Yep.
There's only 15 damage, so it'd be DC 10. Second hit. Or 13 points of slashing damage and 6 points of necrotic.
All right, I'm gonna add this up. I don't think it's nowhere near 157. So, but I should
No.
keep...
So that's a total. So it's a total of 15 from the first hit and a total of 19 from the second.
And a 17 for my concentration.
You save.
Excellent. Get another pummeling on this thing.
So it's, good, but not good enough.
I've taken 56 points of damage so far in my 8 form.
Do you have any bonus actions? I don't see any here, but let's check this spell. I think it's an action. Yeah, that'll be a bit much if I could attack him twice and then do that. Alright. It was hoping that was going to cause a bit more damage than it did.
I'm still grinning at him.
That's the problem. You're still a giant ape. That's the part I'm concerned about.
Yep.
Alright, it's your turn.
Rinse and repeat.
A lot of damage that thing did to you.
This is, I think, the longest I've ever held on to this.
Yeah, ironically.
Yeah.
So I assume you're just making 2 more attacks against it.
Yeah, the lowest number was 21.
Both hit.
Oh, I saw the 10 and then 2. 19 for the first one.
Okay.
Got excited when I saw the 10. And 17 again. 17 and 19.
Alright, you
For a total of 36.
keep bashing it. You knock one of its tusks or fangs out at this point, and it's looking brutalized by this point, but it's still there.
126 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. We come to my turn now.
Yep.
So I think we've almost got it.
If I could tell you something, I would tell you something, but I can't tell you anything.
All right, so
You see me doing this.
I rolled a 19 on the intelligence. No, wait, this would be insight, so that was actually higher, 20 total. What were you trying to convey to me?
Blow the thing up.
All right, well, I was able to intuit that.
Yeah, because, hey, I've lost a third of my 8 hit points anyway, so.
And I say, all right, let's hit it with magic missile again.
Bigger! Bigger! I said bigger!
But you're good. You want me to hit something bigger? Will I do that? Hang on, I'm gonna roll another check. No, I said I'm just judging for with my higher intelligence than yours. I'm just going off of that. It's looking quite damaged. All right. That is 12 points of force damage. And as the bolts tear into it, they go all the way through it and it falls to the ground.
Hey! I pick it up and I shake it and roar.
Yeah.
Just for a show for the audience.
The glaive falls to the side and shrinks down back to the size which we were used to seeing it before.
Didn't disappear?
It's still there?
I ain't picking that thing up. Necrotic damage. I chuck the carcass away, and then I stop concentrating.
You stop concentrating. Yeah. Either way, you are probably going to run out of. There's probably more spells going to run its course shortly anyway.
Yeah, that's the best polymorph I've ever
had. I think it did rather well in one of our previous campaigns, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it did well against the Dampiers or whatever it was that one time. The vampires of
the vampires we fought. Yeah, and for the second round, you've taken no damage. Oh, don't worry, I'll try harder for the last round.
You're gonna try harder, you said?
Yeah. Well, we are given a rousing cheer.
Yeah.
And for the second time in a row, Fire and Ice, through mastery of the arcane arts, are able to triumph again against a creature out of your nightmares. Behold their victory over this Oni.
Oh, that's the devil, isn't it?
No, it's a giant. It's like a Oni are also known as ogre magi, so they are giants, but they have demonic appearance, so they're sometimes confused.
I want to scan the audience for a couple of people.
All right, as we leave in, make a perception check. Just going to be a high DC.
Yeah, I'm going to have my all out for a sec just to have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Only 15.
Who are you looking for?
Well, I assume there's going to be a box where the upper echelon is. I'm just going to see if the Archmage is watching.
All right. That's easy enough to find with that. And you do see him there. There are a few basically exclusive boxes. You see him there, and there are 8 others present, all of whom are dressed in various robes, very fine robes. But you see the Archmage, and he's looking down at you, and you see an applause. And an approving and very much an appraising look on his face.
The other one I'm looking for is Bree.
Right. With that roll, unfortunately, as you're looking around and we're just heading in, she's much harder to see in the crowd of this size, and you don't catch sight of her. She could still be there for all you know, though.
Yeah.
Right. And for the second, and for yet another time, we turn our back on that glaive, which keeps stalking us.
Not going anywhere near that thing.
All right, as we exit and you take one look back, it is gone now. That thing seems to come and go at will. And it seems to be following us.
At some point, we're going to need to deal with that thing.
He said, that was different than the last time. We identified that before, and it didn't have any necrotic magic the last time we've encountered it.
Well, I only had an 8 brain, but it certainly felt that way.
Yes, it was. With each blow, it was tearing through, admittedly, your polymorph form's life force.
Yeah. All right.
They cleared the Oni's body away. But yeah, there's no glaive, and they seem to be looking around for it. They clearly look. They look over at us, and we clearly see that we do not have it.
Yep.
So there's a bit of confusion at that. All right. So we come back in. We get an applause, and the headhunters, despite their own poor fortunes in the tournament so far, seem glad that we've at least had a fair showing.
Not a scratch on me.
I'm a little frostbitten.
Yeah.
I've basically I lost a third of my hit points to that spell.
Yeah.
All right.
The Giant Slayer's taking all this because they've seen 2 battles now that were much harder.
Yeah, 3 of them are a little concerned. The dwarf is ecstatic.
Yeah.
To be fair, they are called the Giant Slayers, and they've seen 2 giants in the previous bout.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been too happy with an invisible one, though.
No, the Oni would definitely had some tricks, and they would have been up against 2 spellcasting monsters in a row.
Yeah. All right, let's see what their final one is.
It says, and with that, we hear the announcement. Now, let us welcome back the Giant Slayers to see if they can live up to their namesake against our final monster for round 2.
Are you going to want to heal?
I'm going to get to that in a moment. Yes. All right. I took 22 points of damage.
Yeah.
All right. I said I'm on. All right. What are the odds that there could be, for all intents and purposes, a 3rd spellcasting monster in round 3, for all we know?
Yeah.
I don't
necessarily. What was the last one called again?
What?
What was the last route? The theme for the last one called again?
Arrows from the sky.
Flying.
Yeah.
All right.
I am going to take out, because it costs me nothing, the refilling potion flask.
Yep.
And I will 2 4s.
Excellent.
I heal 10 hit points. And I put that back in my robe pocket. I say, all right, I think I'll just go with that for the moment.
Yeah, you're only down 12 now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to pull out all the stops for the last one because I'm basically fresh.
Yes. Though admittedly, we have been burning through spells, but...
No,
you haven't, because you used the ring for that. Well, it still is a resource.
It's a resource, yeah.
All right. So, as we've had this little interlude, as I've healed up, the Giant Slayers have taken, again, the center room, the Crest. And despite how it went for them last round, they resumed that same, basically, box formation with the fighter and the monk in front and the druid and the wizard in the back. A classic formation that has probably seen them through quite a few battles.
Yeah. It's quite standard.
Mm-hmm. And with this, the gate opens up on the east side again, and before the gate is even up, there is a creature running through.
Yep.
All right, so this is the smallest creature this round, actually.
Oh, the dwarf's going to be upset.
It's still bigger than all of them, but it's smaller than the Oni and smaller than the S.A.N, which was by far the tallest creature.
Yeah.
And this is a massive green creature, almost wearing no clothing at all. Big, pointed ears, a long nose, claws, fangs, and it's holding a massive club with it. It is running on all fours despite the fact. But one thing you notice that's odd about the club is there is a green crystal embedded in its head, and there are plants and vines growing up around this.
Well, I was going to call it a troll there for a second, but now I'm going to have to roll for sure.
And one of them is going to roll as well.
God.
All right, so that would have been a nature check.
7.
7, all right. I say, that is definitely a troll, but what's it holding? The druid seems to be looking at it and says, what in the world have they given that thing? We can hear her saying even from here.
Yeah.
And the club is an unusual weapon for this, and it is definitely not troll make.
Oh, trolls can use clubs, can't they?
Yes, but this is the crystal is giving off a faint verdant glow. Then again, to be fair, the Oni had a magic weapon.
Yeah.
So this could be the same. However, this is definitely taking them a little by surprise, and the troll is tearing across. And let's see how this goes.
All right.
Well, this is the dwarf charges and the monk follows suit, and the wizard and the druid turn to one another, and they both bring up their hands, and each of them begins casting a spell. The wizard's spell you recognize as a small bead of fire forms and shoots out.
Yep, fireball.
A very effective spell against a troll. So there's a massive detonation around the troll. Now, trolls are technically not weak to fire, unlike the mummy. We do know that fire, because we fought trolls before, can prevent their regeneration. It doesn't like being set on fire. The druid spins her hands into a ball of fire as well, but it seems to grow in size about 5 feet in diameter and sends it out. And it starts, as opposed to detonating, it rolls around and slams into the troll, burning it.
Flaming sphere?
You would assume. You can roll on our contract if you want to be more specific.
20.
It matches all the specifications of a flaming sphere. You're a little surprised that druids seem to be able to cast that spell, though.
I'm not familiar with all the different.
So before the monk and the dwarf charge in and are able to get in and take in some attacks, while the troll is taking heavy damage. So, in case you're wondering why they did so well there, they rolled a natural 20.
Oh, there you go.
So, we're using basically the same sort of skill check or death save. I think it's best of 3, which means a natural 20 is 2 successes. They have a very good opening round against this thing.
Yeah.
And its regeneration is locked off for this round.
Yep.
Nope, that landed. And that goes a long way to explaining why the troll is taken out in the next round.
Excellent.
The dwarf and the monk hack it up and cut it down, and the druid slams the spear into it, and the wizard doesn't have to do anything else as they just stand back and watch as, with that opening salvo and their knowledge of how to fight a troll, it burns away. Which means we don't get to find out what the club does. Which I'm a little disappointed on, because I put some thought into that.
Oh, well, unless you want to run out there and grab it and identify it, there's nothing you're going to do.
Well, now that the troll is dead, the giant slayers come back in. They're whatever their curiosity or interest in the troll's club is lost, apparently.
Good going, guys.
Yep. All right, so we're 2 teams going into round 3. They clear the troll and the troll's corpse and club away. However, the druid lets this flaming sphere basically just burn around until the spell burns out, just to ensure it's dead, because trolls are notoriously hard to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that much fire, it works.
Yep.
It goes, all right. Yeah, and the MC's Master of Ceremony stands up against us. 2 rounds completed, and 2 teams remain. It says we have. It says let us not forget the valiant efforts of the headhunters, but Fire and Ice and the Giant Slayers are very much our loyal defenders. As their efforts will be put to the ultimate test of endurance in the final round. But first, let us give them a slight moment of respite, and all of you as well, as we prepare for the 3rd and final round.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, basically. So we're going to be given, basically, as you can tell, there's basically going to be a few minutes again for us to take a slight breather.
All right. You're not going to bother healing anymore, it said, right?
I think I'm fine. I'm only down 12 hit points. I might regret that. Yeah. This might be the hardest round, but we might want to save what we have. So this is going to be interesting because there's still 3 monsters to choose from for this round, but there's only 2 combatants now.
Well, I'm about as fresh as I could possibly hope to be going into this.
Yep.
All right. Is there next graphic here?
You can move ahead because, yes, they are changing. Right.
Okay.
So the stone walls are gone. There is a slight difference. Now, the reason decided to leave this as simple as it is because there was no real way for me to articulate what's going to happen in this round. However, this is what you see. The stone walls seem to have gone. They seem to sink back down to the floor. We do notice we're standing on here. There's basically sand and it's covering stone of some sort.
Yeah.
So this is all we see at the moment. It's wide open. We're not being given any cover for this round.
Well, we didn't use the cover last time.
No, it wasn't very helpful, but it was an option.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyway, doesn't matter.
All right. The Giant Slayers are likewise had a very easy round. Well, actually, they had the easiest round this time.
Yeah, by far. Well, not really. Well, actually, yeah. They had the easiest round this one.
Yeah, we did take a lot more damage than they did. So the last few moments go by, and we're given a moment to rest, but it is a little tense. We're waiting for that for it to begin, and then the MC comes back and says, "Very well." Says, "Let us begin the 3rd and final round. Terror from the sky. Since ancient times, creatures of the air have always been an exceptionally difficult adversaries for various peoples of the land to fight, and they have often says from dragons to the mighty dragons to other terrors of the sky. Flying monsters have always been the bane of civilization. Can our heroes stand tall against the ultimate test of their strength? We will see. All right. So there's only 2 of us this round. So we're 1 to 3, and the Giant Slayers are 4 to 6. And
well, the pattern holds true. We'll be up first.
The other monsters, however, have the same round because so basically we're not getting to see one monster.
Right.
It is us.
Hey.
Because so says, let us welcome back Fire and Ice. And we enter.
All right, wave with the audience.
All right, we go to stand in the center of the crest. Are we doing anything in the lead ups to this?
Actually, I am going to cast a spell. This time, I'm going to cast Mirror Image again.
All right.
Because I get the feeling there might be multiples attacking us this time. But I could be wrong.
All right. Am I going to...
But there's literally no point in holding back any spells now.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to as well. All right. So once again, they see us resort to a familiar spell for survival, and that's my last 2nd level spell slot. They've used them all.
And I think we're just going to face north. because we don't.
The northern gate opens, and a creature comes forward, and for a second, we thought they mentioned dragons as a creature flies up into the air, and this large creature definitely does resemble a dragon. However, it's not exactly a dragon, because we can see that it only has one set of hind legs and its wings. We've seen a drake we encountered previously on our way to Vern's Run and our way leaving it, but this is larger than that. This is a very iconic flying creature and a lesser dragon. This is a wyvern.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
All right, I want an Arcana check here. I can't remember if wyverns have some sort of venom or something. I can't remember.
Right.
17.
You're all better than I did. Yes, you see a long stinger reminiscent of a scorpion's on the end of it, and it looks exactly like it's got some sort of venom in it.
Alrighty.
All right, and it is flying in the air. It takes to flight, and for the first time we notice, as we look up, a shimmering dome shimmers into view as it gets close. Clearly, there is some sort of protective energy field to keep the flying creatures
from just
flying off or attacking the audience.
Yeah. All right.
Roll for initiative for our third and final fight in the tournament.
I have a 13.
All right, I have a 17.
Wow. What about our buddy?
All right. The wyvern has a natural 20.
Okay. Well, I'm last again.
Well, it's outnumbered, so it does only seem fair.
Well, it must be fair.
Yeah, and just judging by looking at this thing, it's a large creature, and it is the hardiest of the beasts we've probably taken on in this entire tournament so far.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't regenerate.
No, from your check, you know the fact that unlike the Oni or the Troll we fought, it should not possess any regenerative capabilities. It is, however, a massive beast and an engine of destruction for all intents and purposes.
And it's going to now try and destroy us.
And it's up first. And unlike our first opponent, it's very fast.
Yeah.
And once it sees us, it flies in. Technically, it starts flying towards us before even the bell goes for the round.
Monster cheating, what a surprise.
It has no concept of fair play. It just sees us and it sees food.
Yeah.
All right. It is going to fly by and strafe at us. It has... All right, it has 2 attacks and it has 2 targets. Let's see what it goes for.
It'll go for me.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to roll that attack first before I roll to see. So it comes down and... Yep.
It's going for me. I rolled
it arcs down with its tail for its stinger.
Yep. I rolled a 2 on my...
So it hits you. Natural 20.
Oh, we're going to roll that again.
You're using luck?
Oh, yeah. No reason to hold back now.
Natural 20 to natural 1.
I love it. It doesn't get a second attack.
What are the odds of that happening?
Pretty low, but I'll take it.
So it looks like it's going straight for you as it goes through the illusion, but you just get out of the way, and basically as Reltz is bringing down its bite at me, it was going for me for the bite, but it loses that as it nearly bites its own stinger, and it has to fly off for a bit. Oh, one other thing we notice when it flew by, its tail and its bite have a range far greater than 5 feet.
No, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. It's well within the range of what I'm going to be doing to it.
All right, and now we come to me. I said, all right, well, they've certainly given us a worthy target for the finale. I say, all right, you're not in the way this time, and it's not a spellcaster. I think.
Yep.
I said, I think we should. I'm going to try and bring it down. It had to fly a distance, so it was still within range if I aim up. It's basically 20 feet, flying away 20 feet above it, so I can get it.
Yep.
I am going to cast, because it's the final round, Frost Breath, and I'm going to cast it at 4th level.
Oh, there you go.
So I need 4d10 for this, and the cone becomes a 40-foot cone.
Alright.
As well, I created the spell. You can do that. Do I want to? What are my portents? I did roll them.
Got a low one?
10 and 13. Not really low. I wouldn't know this thing's constitution, so I wouldn't risk it. Any hardy creature could probably make it with one of those.
Yeah, I want to save it for any possible poisoning as well anyway.
I'm immune to poison.
I keep forgetting.
It's not going to help against the bite.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 19 plus. Yeah, that succeeds. Still takes half damage.
Yep.
Oh, first 4th level Frost Breath. Wow. Even half, this is going to be good. 28 points of cold damage.
Half to 14?
Half to 14.
Alright.
Unfortunately, it's hard enough to resist my biggest Frost Breath yet. However, this is a few people in the crowd have picked up this is a relatively unique spell that I just cast, and that seems to garner a bit of fan approval.
Hey.
And you assume the Archmage is watching this of taking note of the fact that I just cast off a unique spell as well.
Yep. Move away from me.
Yes, I am going to move. You know what? 30 feet back towards the gate we came out of. Why not?
Sure.
That seems fair. We come to your turn now.
And I'm going to pull out my iconic spell.
Fireball?
Fireball!
Alright, so your spell save DC is 15 if I remember correctly.
And it's the first time in a long time I break 30.
Well, I don't think a 7 saves.
Then it takes 32 points of damage.
Alright, it takes far more damage from your spell than it does mine. It's a fast creature, but it doesn't seem to swerve and maneuver well enough in the air to avoid getting fireball. That was a lot of damage.
I know. Fireball's finally redeemed itself after forever.
Alright, are you going to move?
No, there's distance between us now.
Alright.
It would not make any difference to the wyvern if I'm near a wall, would it?
You couldn't technically make it to a wall.
I'll head towards a wall in the opposite direction. Maybe.
Alright. Also, by the way, just to how fast we've been seeing this thing fly around, we estimate its flying speed at 80 feet.
Speedy.
So, in these cramped corridors, it's in this cramped area, it's basically, this arena is about 80 feet across.
So it is going to get dizzy is what's going to happen.
Yes, but it can make it to us wherever it goes. Alright, so top of the round. We also feel the ground starting to move a little bit. However, the wyvern gets to go first. Alright, it has to choose its target this time because we're no longer beside one another.
Yep, all or nothing.
And it goes for you.
Of course it does. First attack. Hits an image. If it hits.
So it's just your armor class, which, yes. So your armor class for your images is 12, right?
Yep.
14 would hit, so it takes out the image.
Second attack would be me.
All right, so the stinger takes out the image. The bite goes at you. 21 to hit.
It's gonna hit no matter what I do. My first damage.
Yeah, so you've been doing really well. Yeah, the stinger is definitely the worst attack to get hit with, which is why I'm leading with it. All right, you take 9 points of piercing damage as it bites into you.
I consider that acceptable.
I accidentally subtracted the images from my total as opposed to yours. Oops, I'll correct that. And
you didn't cast Karen, did you?
I did.
Oh.
I did so, yep. Unlike the stinger, however, there's no venom for you to worry about. It's just a nasty biting from its talons as a fangs that flies off.
Alright,
yes.
you're up.
The wyvern is not regenerating, you can see that.
Happy with that.
At initiative count 20. After the wyvern, though.
Okay.
The ground starts to shift. Did you move from where you were?
Yeah, I went towards this wall.
Alright, so you moved north. Okay, so we both moved off the crest. We noticed that the section of the crest seems to not be moving, but the other areas, the elevation, like platforms, start moving up. Basically, we see areas of the ground are starting to shift. Some are going up and some are going down by intervals of 5 feet.
Okay.
This seems to be done presumably to help any ground-based combatants deal with a flying creature. It's probably not going to be too much of a big deal to us, though. All right, we come to me now. Well, I'm way too far for Frost Breath now. And I already blew my 4th level spell slot. Yeah, unlike you, I've been burning through spell slots.
Yeah, I'm not holding back anything now. I'm going to be firing on all cylinders.
So, all right. All right. I might be able to catch another frostbite that comes back around. They say. All right, I'm going to cast Magic Missile again.
Right.
All right. Only at first level, though. D4s. There they are. I got barely. Right, 11 points of force damage. The only spell I really have access to left at this point that can reach this thing from my distance is that for 3 more unerring magic missiles. They strike it. One difficulty we're going to have now is movement, because we have to climb up on some of these or go down a little bit. The terrain is becoming difficult, so I don't get as far.
Alright, half a minute it is.
We come to you now. That looks like another fireball.
It is another fireball. And we're back into the normal crap. 25 points of damage.
Well, I don't think a 13 saves.
Nope. 25 it is.
Yeah. It's looking quite hurt at this point. Well, let's be honest, both fireballs. Because basically my magic missile and frost breath added up to 1 of your fireballs. But it's been taking some heavy arcane damage. It's taking a beating.
Yep, 82 points of damage.
Yeah.
I head back towards you because I just realized the error of my strategy.
What's that?
Oh, you don't frost breath is a closer range spell.
Yeah.
Fireball, I can hit him from anywhere.
Alright, so you basically can make it halfway back to the crest with the current shifting in the ground. Yep. It's not stationary either. They start moving. And
that's okay.
The wyvern is annoyed, but it can't flee anywhere, so it's going to attack one of us.
Me again.
Yep. It's going for you.
Yep, I know. I don't even know why we all bother rolling. Alright. Oh, I don't remember what image number 2 number is.
Alright. With 2 ability fists, you need an 8 or higher.
I rolled a 7.
Alright.
So, wait for me.
It's going for you. And the stinger comes down towards you, and your rings of protection flare just enough, and they just... a bit of arcane deflection causes the stinger to bounce off. It rolled an 11.
Cool.
And now it uses its bite attack against you.
And an image goes.
As it bites through it with a 24.
Yep. Your image is really helping out here.
Yeah, which is compared to how it did in the first round.
Yeah, did nothing. Then again, I'm quite happy that it had nothing to do.
Alright. Yeah, the wyvern flies off again. It's basically just using this flyby tactic because it's all it can really do in this confined space.
Yeah.
This creature is not looking well. If this is something we encountered in the wild, it would be fleeing at this point. You cannot help but feel slightly sorry for this thing. It is just a predator.
Yeah, that's true. It's not an evil creature. It's
Unlike our first 2 companions, it's not evil.
Yeah.
Sure, it's my turn now. All right, I say, yeah, it's all right. I don't think frost breath is going to happen. I say,
no, it's just going for me.
Yeah, I'm going to cast magic missile at 3rd level this time.
All right.
Let's see if we can take this thing down. And the first level one was probably better.
Oh, seriously?
3 1s. 6, 8, plus 13 points of force damage.
Wow. That's not good.
It almost drops out of the sky, but rights itself. It's not long for this world.
Fireball!
Why not?
There's no point holding back.
Yes. For anyone who's wondering, the wyvern does not have a dexterity saving throw bonus. So I rolled a 4.
That takes 27 points more damage.
Alright. Do you want to kill this thing in a spectacular way, or is it just follow this guy burning?
This is dead.
Yeah, it's dead. Your fireball blasts it, and it plummets to the ground, a burning and smoldering corpse. And my 3 images and your remaining 1 wink out. All right, we are met with roaring applause and cheers as says, and with that, Fire and Ice becomes our first champions of this year's Guild Crest tournament. It says, they should be proud, for they have earned their reward. It says, however, let us not forget that one battle remains. But first, let us give our newest champions their much deserved appreciation. And we're given a standing applause by people.
I only took 9 points of damage and all that. Mirror image. Woohoo!
Mirror image, polymorph. We've got some good survival capabilities at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. I am spell spent mostly, though, I say.
I burnt through everything.
You threw 3 fireballs in a row. I cannot remember the last time you did that.
Last campaign when I had a wand of fireballs.
We have the beads now.
Yeah, I'm much more calm about using them because they don't replace.
Yeah. Also, this was there was a bit less tension this time around.
No, I wanted to win.
Yes, we wanted to win, but our lives were not in danger.
I know, but
all right. So we go back inside. We are given an equal standing applause from our our fellow adventurers inside, and the headhunters are looking a bit more pleased the fact that at least some people that they've come to know in the short period of time did well, even if they did not.
Yeah.
All right. So there's no point in rolling one of the dice because there's only one left. It says, "Let us welcome back the Giant Slayers. Let us see if they shall join our other champions, or if they will fall before our final monster."
Yep.
All right. So they head out. I do have to roll this time because there are still technically 2 monsters it could be.
Yep.
All right. They enter the arena. They stand. The floor has stopped shifting at this point. And they stand in the center. Quiet comes over the arena as the north gate goes up again, and wind howls out of the gate, literally, as a massive moving windstorm swirls up into the air.
An air elemental. Should I roll?
You can, yes.
Never mind.
I'm apparently distracted because I rolled a natural 1, despite the fact I probably... You know what? I would have had advantage for this. That's fine. I'd have an advantage I think I'd have an advantage due to my own elemental heritage. I said, well, they summoned an air elemental for this. Well, I guess this is one creature that is not going to die, because it cannot die here.
Yeah.
And it is flying around, and you see someone from the box stand where the Archmage is.
Yep.
Stand and say something and point at the
literally a summoned creature.
Clearly, this creature was literally summoned for the express purpose of this. You imagine there's probably a few creatures which were chosen by the Research Academy.
If they had done this to us, you could just banish it.
No, I could not have. I forgot to prepare banishment. We were under the impression that it was going to be that we had to kill the monsters anyway, right?
But that's literally...
Yeah, but I had no way of knowing there was going to be a summoned creature.
No, I know.
That's fine. It's not important. The battle begins. The final battle of the tournament.
Yep.
All right. Despite the fact that they are at a... Actually, no, wait. They are at a massive disadvantage. That's still enough. But it's not a natural 20. Yeah. They are at a... This group is slightly worse off than we were against a flying opponent.
Yeah, they have 2 ground guys.
Monk and the dwarf have nothing to do but wander around. The druid is... attempts to cast a spell, and a storm cloud forms in the air, and a bolt of lightning strikes down at the air elemental in the air. It hits the elemental, but it seems to largely ignore it.
Yeah, it's at least resistant, if not.
It got hit and seems to react to it, so it took damage, but...
Yeah, so it's resistant to lightning.
Yeah. The wizard, on the other hand, decides to fall back. Seems to be slightly out of his depth on what to do here exactly, and decides to fall back on an old standby and fires off 3 magic missiles at it.
Yeah. Which
strike the creature true and do damage to it. But it's hard to tell exactly how much damage to a living windstorm.
Yeah.
The elemental, judging this situation, soars down and occupies the same space as the druid and the wizard, and literally turns into a tornado.
Oh, this is not going to be good for them.
Yeah. They are brought up into the air by it and then flung into one of the walls by it as they are flung 20 feet into a wall and take considerable amount of bludgeoning damage from being flung and then impacting and then fall to the ground. They're conscious, but that was a big hit. It was probably a bigger hit than they did to it.
Yeah.
Even though technically they... Alright, and we go to the next round. Alright, it gets even worse for them. So, the Whirlwind ability recharges on a 4 to 6. I decided to roll just for this. I rolled a 6.
Yep.
It rolled well enough to do enough damage. It just repeats what it did last time and continues to lift up the two already dazed and injured magic users and fling them while the two melee characters have to run and get to it. They both hit the ground. The druid stands up. The wizard does not.
No, that's not good.
That's this. Sorry?
The cloud storm, is it still there?
No, they lost. No, she lost that spell anyway. To be fair, it wasn't doing too much. All right, the two of their heavy hitters, their melee hero characters, need to get in on this.
Yeah.
The shifting floor is giving them a bit of opportunity to see if they can jump up and attack the thing. And in short order, the air elemental just chooses to focus on the druid and just takes her out. And the monk and the dwarf are finally allowed to get into combat this thing when it decides to focus on them. But by then, it does a third whirlwind. The dwarf is strong enough to resist it, but the monk is picked up and thrown and flung. And just with its incredible fly speed of 90 feet, the dwarf isn't able to even get into melee with this thing until the monk is also taken down, and then it's just the dwarf and the air elemental for the fight, going toe-to-toe. Yeah, that's 2 losses. They had 1 victory at the start, but this is not going well for them.
Yep.
The air elemental comes in and tries to just use all the tricks at slamming into the dwarf. The dwarf weathers the damage and starts fighting back. Clearly, the great sword is enchanted as it's damaging the air elemental despite its immaterial body. Yep. The dwarf is able to gain some headway here.
Oh, there you go. Go dwarf.
Yeah, but it's very much down to just the 2 of them.
Yeah.
As we come to, it's quite clear that this round will decide it.
Yeah, the final round.
Well, much as it was in a fight in the first round, the deciding factor comes down to a single point in the favor of one of them.
So, which side does this come down on?
The air elemental resumes its whirlwind, and the dwarf runs forward, jumps and brings the greatsword, and there is a massive dust storm kicked up as sand is rolling around, and when it clears, a single dwarven fighter stands there victorious, having literally slain a living windstorm with his sword.
Basically single-handedly.
Yeah, he is bludgeoned and bleeding, but he raises the sword high up in the air and gives a cry in Dwarven, which neither of us know.
Nope.
And the gates go up and the clerics all run out, and everyone gives the dwarf and his fallen companions a rousing cheer. All right. Wow. So that's the end of the combat. One more important thing is going to happen here I want to roll for.
Yep.
Oh, in case you're wondering, these are death saves for the...
Oh.
All right, the monk is gotten to and revived quite quickly because she was only went down the round before, and she rolled a 14 plus her natural 14 on her death save.
Yep.
All right. The wizard for the second round. 2 fails on the wizard, and the druid rolled a natural 1 on her first round. So this is going to be a few death save. A few rounds would have gone by before that, so I'm just rolling death saves for them. Just barely made it. All right. So despite everything, it's quite tense, but the clerics get over there and they are able to stabilize the druid and the wizard before they both die. No one had to be brought back from the brink of death, but it was close. Yep. And with that, we are given a resounding applause. It says, bring out, it says, out fire and ice. It says, and let us give one more applause for the valiant efforts of the headhunters. All right, so we step back out into the crest, this time with our fellow victors.
Yep.
To be fair, we look like we're in much better condition than they are.
Yeah, it's got barely scratched.
Yeah, so there is that. The dwarf is standing on his feet largely through adrenaline and stubbornness. That is befitting of one of his people.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, also possibly the armor is probably just keeping him upright.
Yeah. All right. Well,
However, we stand in the center and we shake hands. Says the MC says, our champions will split the prize pool of money, and each of them will have earned a second guild crest, getting them closer towards their goals. It says, I would like to thank each and every one of our brave adventurers for stepping into the arena this year. It says, let's give them one more final applause before we finally bring this harvest festival to its close. All right, so the prize pool, apart from the fact we're going to write down that we get our 5th guild crest and they get their 2nd. So in case you're wondering, now we have basically almost one segment away from having a complete circle, and it looks like the 7th fits in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So there's basically a gap in the middle, but that's what we have left.
All right.
Almost complete.
Getting there.
Yeah. The prize pool was 100 gold pieces from each participant.
Yep.
Of which there were 9. So that's 900 plus plus the standard pool prize, which was 1,500 gold. So it's a grand total of 2,400 divided between both of us. So we each get 1,200. Both prizes get 1,200 gold pieces.
Oh, so it's not divided by individuals.
Well, we do, but they're basically they're giving us the 1,200 gold, which we will then divide among ourselves. Yeah. So 600 each and 300 each for them.
On top of that, I want to make sure I find my bookie.
Basically, the gold cost that I got basically recovered all the money I spent for participating in this tournament.
Where's my bookie?
All
I want my money.
So after that, we're basically given a bit of a round of applause. There is going to be a feast, basically, to celebrate the end of the close, and we are guests of honor. All 3 of us, including the headhunters, even though they didn't make it quite to the end. They're definitely being given a place of honor.
Yep. Oh,
you want to go find your bookie first. Though.
I want my bookie. I want my money.
All right. So you put down 200 gold.
I want my 1,000 gold pieces.
The odds were 1 to 4 against us winning.
Yep.
All right. So, as annoyed as he is, he has no choice but to give out the 1,000 gold. Are we splitting that, or are you keeping it all?
I bet.
So you're keeping. All right. So you add 1,000 gold onto your tally. That's fair.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. We pool our own money anyway.
So I can write down 500 and add it to my character sheet?
No.
No? Yes. There's definitely been a few times in which it's not important, where you've definitely ended up getting either I've definitely fallen behind or I've just spent more money in the long run of our adventure. One or the other. It's not important.
No, not at all.
It's pooled resources for us.
Yeah.
And then we go to a much deserved feast, which is basically just being held in the guild hall. Basically, there's a celebrate. Basically, where we head over there, and there is basically there's an area set up outside it for everyone who can come and enjoy basically the ending festivities. There's a nice feast. We are given a table where the 9 of us are all sat.
Yeah.
And the clerics also use whatever healing spells they have left to basically mend the injuries of those, just as a show of good faith. So everyone's feeling a bit better now.
A little cut on my pinky. They're going to heal that, or no?
Yeah, we don't get much healing because we are pretty well off.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. And the last, and we were basically visited by the Archmage, Master Amadeus Maldra, who comes and personally greets all 9 of us. Says, all of you adventurers should hold yourselves proud. You have all, despite your positioning in the tournament, have all earned the title of champions of Lyria this day. Says, as all of you have earned your glory and fortune, says, and you will definitely be persons of interest to go forward in consideration by the city council. Oh, it says, I wish you luck in your future endeavors. Says, and he heads off. He definitely was looking at us a little bit during that, so you think he's definitely keeping, again, a close eye on us and our progress, but he was definitely saying it to everyone as well.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I'm not going to hog the limelight. I'm quite happy to share it.
And we are going to leave it there while our characters enjoy a nice and relaxing feast after a hard-earned victory.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us here again next time. We hope you enjoyed the Guild Crest tournament. I put a lot of effort into that, even if it didn't prove to be nearly as much as a challenge as I thought it was going to be for us. The other 2 teams got brutalized.
Yeah, well,
it happens.
I mean, we have greater repertoire of things we can. I mean, the dwarf and the monk
he carried the team there.
Yeah, you just can't deal. They can't deal with flyers until there was nothing left but them, and the flyer had to come down to them.
But let's please join us here next time. We'll see if we can get the remaining 2 Guild Crest fragments we need.
Yeah, then we get to go into the center part of the city.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
Good night.